got my mind properly leveled for our special guest this evening. Um, Pretty serious, uh, especially in the black community. And luckily, I have a a guest that's going to be with us who is well versed in the things that can assist us in becoming a little bit more comfortable with communication. Let me turn this down a little bit, a little bit. Hopefully the stream is up. Hopefully people can hear me. People can hear me. People can hear me. If you're coming in, please let me know whether or not you can hear me or not. I wanted to give my guest a few minutes to get comfortable. This is a new situation for us all, but the information is definitely needed. And I have questions. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I will surely fit them in. It's kind of funny, even if you live streaming or you on a platform such as this, we are still late to the party. But the reason that uh, like to like to discuss therapy is because I've done a number of things to work on myself as well, and it's been a long journey. I started years ago, um, and there's a lot of things that I uncovered about myself, about my family, about things that people that's closest to you probably don't even see, because we are products of our environment and a lot of things are normalized. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. A lot of things, are normalized in our community. So if they're normalized in our community or with our family, then it doesn't seem like there is an issue. One issue. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's an issue because we've lived with this issue our whole life. So people don't realize when there is a problem. Hold on for a second. Let me. It's not going to work. Yeah, so I think it's as we have these issues when we're growing up in our tribe or our community, a lot of things are normalized. So we are really let me bring my big cuz over in here. What's up, pimp?
Hey, what's going on?
You good? You can hear everything good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
I was saying it's good to bounce things off. I'm talking about normalizing things in our past because we grow up in a level of trauma, and if we've been used to that all of our lives, it's a part of us, and we don't see it as being peace, rock. We don't see it as being an issue because that's what we live with all of our lives. And people are more prone to fight people. Maybe not physically, but you'll fight somebody for your truth or what seems normal to you. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I think that might be part of our problem because things seem so normal. We want to have that normalcy stay there. So it's always good to bounce things off of people who are more knowledgeable than you are. Uh, hello, guest. Do you see me? You see me? Okay. I'm going to introduce you first. Let me bring up my little notes. Um, our guest this evening is Miss Sothia Green, as a graduate of American School of Professional Psychology at Augustine University in Washington, D.C., Arlington. She graduated with a doctorate degree in clinical psychology. Dr. Green wants to transform lives and affect positive change by providing you with the proper tools to manage life's challenges. So I introduce you all to Miss Sothia
Mhm.
Green. Hello, Miss Green. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm wonderfully excellent. This is my compadre cousin, Mr. Pearl Swade. Uh, he also has his accolades and the things that he dibble and dabble in
Mhm.
the mental portion of our sector because he deals with people that in the correctional
Hmm.
field.
Okay. Good.
So
Good. How are you?
Pretty
I'm,
good.
I'm stylish. Look at those. Look at those frames. I'm gonna have to pull some. I'm gonna have to pull something out. Um. Um. Well, how's your day been going?
Busy but productive.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And
Yeah.
yours?
Always exceptional. You know I like to make the best out of all my moments. And I love that we can have this conversation because you know me. And we can talk freely. Um but first you can introduce yourself as well unless you like the introduction that I did. That was basically your bio. I do a little homework.
That's great. I just want to add that I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina. So I've been here since 2000. I have a 23-year-old son. I've been in this profession since 1995.
Oh.
And typically, if you Google my name, you probably see something about substance abuse. That's my
Mm-hmm.
specialty, but that's not the only thing that I do. And like you stated, I graduated from Argosy in the clinical psych program, but I also graduated from University of South Carolina as well. So that's a little bit about me. And like I said, I have a private practice in Suitland, Maryland, and I've been here since 2014
Oh, okay,
in
okay.
the private practice.
That is beautiful. 95, that's some time. So you've touched a lot of lives.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Um, so what made you want to go down this path? I'll give this question to both of you. First, you, Miss Green, Miss Doctor
Mhm.
Sothia Green. What made you want to go down the path of this field?
Well, a couple of things. Family issues, um, dealing with my own family and seeing how toxic some of their behaviors were, and just wanted to not have people go through the same things that I went through with some family issues. So that's one. And then also just the fact of I wanted to be a teacher, and this is almost in the same lines of being a teacher. So I can provide the information, but it's up to you to do what you need to do with the information. So that's basically what I really wanted to do. So I'm twofold, wanting to help myself and others, and also wanting to provide information so that others could actually benefit from it as well.
Oh, okay. And Mr. Glenn, Mr. Swade, what made you want to pursue that avenue that you're in? Because that you deal with, to my understanding, you deal with people in the judicial system.
Yeah. So I think mine was birthed because I had as a kid, as a youth, I was passionate about effective being articulate and speaking, keep myself out of trouble, um, without using force or weapons, to escape, stuff that I was going through in my home and in the neighborhood and stuff like that. So I talked my way out of a lot of stuff, and um, on the job that I currently have right now, I've been here like 18 years, and what happened was the program chief. So I work for the mental health department, and the program chief realized that I was, articulate and getting, having my way and getting the message across to people. So he started having me go. He started having me to go replace him in different meetings because pretty much spoke, you know, on a, I won't say better, but he used me to speak for him in a lot of meetings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Uh, he There was a partnership between, there was some stuff that was going on in the courts with child support, and a lot of the clients that we were getting who had they were ex-offenders. Some of them had mental health issues. Some of them had a lot of barriers, and the courts was locking them up for not paying the child support. And so he decided to put me in the court to sit with the judge and to speak out when I found someone who had been ex-offender, or maybe had some barriers that the program that we had could have filled in those gaps. And so what I would do is I would go in there for a while, I learned the process of the law and different things, and then I started, stepping up and interrupting the judge before they handcuffed the guy, and I would say, "Hold on, if you do that, I probably could save the state. We could probably save the state some money if you send them to this program over here. And this guy's an ex-offender. He's already been incarcerated. There's no possible way you could pay his child support. I can get him a job. I can get if you have the child support, give him his license back. I can probably get employed if you give me 3 to 4 months with him. I can put a treatment plan on him, have him complete all the goals in the treatment plan, give him another court date, bring him back, and then maybe he's probably going to be doing everything he needs to do. He's
Basically,
probably right.
rehabilitating them. Yeah.
Yeah. So they started demanding me to come back because it was working, and caseload just got big, and they started adding more people to come help me out, and I got a little staff and stuff working for me, and I've been there for like 18 years. So I'm like the first court ambassador in the world.
In the world. That's good.
In the world.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm want to like steer ourselves into just thinking about the mental aspect as far as seeking that assistance. I'm curious to know what, or does it seem like it's harder to get elders to seek therapy or see somebody about issues than it is anyone else? Or what do y'all think about that process?
When you say elders, can you give me an example?
Um, I just want to say older people
Mhm.
that are older than I am, our upper generation. I mean, I, cause like you, uh, I know that I've seen things go on in our community and our family,
Mhm.
and growing up, I've paid attention to a lot, and you notice once you be around a little bit that something's a little off about
Mhm.
the things that go on, even though it's normalized in your house and
Mhm.
everything seems like it's hush hush. But once you notice that you can be healed, or you don't have to feel the way that you feel, and you learn what you learn. Because I just all I do is not all I do, but I've read books, self help.
Mhm.
I've been to counseling a numerous amount of times,
Mhm.
um, and sometimes I have definitely been met with resistance if I even talk about something that seems like change to someone older,
Mhm.
because they're stuck in their ways.
Mhm.
Um, do you all feel, or do you feel, Dr. Green, that that is something that is an issue for you in your field?
I have a range of clients, and it's interesting that you said that because I was talking to my mother, and she was interested in therapy. And that was very eye opening for me because, like you said, a lot of older people, they do not like change. A lot of people do not like change. And when you've been doing something for so long, and it's stereotypical for the African American community to keep everything in house. You don't talk our business, you don't share with other people, you don't, you know, talk about me to someone else who don't know me. And how could this person help me? They don't know what I've been through. So those things are typical responses. However, I think what I'm seeing now is a shift. I have clients ranging from age 12 to 77.
Mm,
So
which is beautiful.
absolutely. And a couple of years ago, I may have not seen a 77-year-old client. So it is quite interesting that the walls are changing. Everything is kind of shifting at this point, so that people are seeking help. People are noticing that this is beneficial. So it just depends on who is around them, who's nurturing, who's talking about mental health. So a lot of people want change, but it's so difficult to provoke change when it has not been talked about in the community. So since COVID, I think that there are a lot of things that have been, peeping up as far as anxiety. We're talking a lot about
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. We're talking a lot about depression. We're talking about isolation. We're talking about various aspects of PTSD. So I think a lot of times now, we are using words like triggers. We're using words like self-care. And those are the things that we are noticing in our community due to COVID. So now it's almost like we have to kind of nurture those things and continue to talk about them so we can normalize counseling, we can normalize
Mm-hmm.
getting help, and to let other people who are older than we are know that it's okay and you
Mm.
can get help at any age. Just like
Um,
I said, with the clients that I have, the age range is vast. So, at any age, you can get help.
and you said trigger. That was one of my questions. I know what it feels like, what a trigger feels like. Well, can you explain what a trigger is?
Mm-hmm. It's your response to an experience that you may have had. Like you said, how you feel. And a trigger could be anything. It could be a smell, it could be a touch, it could be food, it could be a song, it could be rain, it could be anything. But it just depends on your personal experience and what you went through. That determines what your trigger and what's going to trigger you.
Okay. And with the triggers, another one of my little thoughts. Um and it can probably go down the line of alcoholism or drug abuse as well. Is there a a way or a pattern when you think about your triggers? Like, let's say you figure out what your triggers are, and if you start to get triggered, is it a method that you can use or people can get comfortable with that can allow them to go a different direction than, let's say, going to alcohol or
Mhm.
drugs when they feel triggered?
Well, it depends on the person. You have to learn what your triggers are, why you're being triggered. You have to be comfortable sitting in those feelings. Sometimes they're very uncomfortable, but then you have to do, what are you going to do with the feelings once you sit in the feelings? So some of the steps you could, actually utilize deep breathing. You can meditate. You could pause. You can tell yourself stop. So, there are various forms of different things that you could possibly do, but you have to identify what's going to work for you. In the long run, everything is not going to work for everybody. So I
Right.
could tell someone, hey, practice this or try this. And they may try it, it may work and it may not work, but consistency is the key. You can't try something one time and expect it to work.
Okay. Now, in the not even in the last couple of months, um, it's probably a lifelong thing. I'm trying to make sure that I'm centered. Okay. Um, I've always I don't know what it is. I don't know who I need to see to find out. But everyone, not everyone, I've come across a lot of people. I would say males in general, mostly males, um, that come to me with their issues or their concerns, and they're not really regular because everything seems like it's deep trauma, it's deep hurt always attached to the things that they come to me with, and some of it has to do with death or dealing with death,
Mhm.
but they don't. It's almost like they're just using me to feed the information to get it off. I don't know what I if I look like I'm just must be a gentle soul. I understand that. I understand. But uh but when they feed me this, and I'm always thinking, shit, you don't need to be talking to them. You need therapy.
Mhm.
But saying that in that moment, um, I mean, because one, these are grown men,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? And mostly, of course, grown black men. And they're strong, grown black men. And
Mhm.
they got this toughness to them.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, but you're talking to me, and I've had people that are consistently talking to me. I
Mhm.
mean, daily.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you need to talk to someone who is skilled and this is their profession.
Mhm.
What is a comfortable way, or what is safe? What
Mhm.
would be a safe method to transition into that conversation after, like, I don't even want to say what I just heard, but yeah, everybody keep coming to me talking about death, and they're in that state. You
Mhm.
know, they're in a deep state of mourning.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, you don't need to hold this. You need to get this out.
Mhm.
So what's a good transition to telling them, okay, here's Miss Green's information. Give her a call, schedule an appointment, because I can hear you and I can tell you my thoughts.
Mhm.
But experience wise, I'm not experienced enough to tell you your next steps after you just spilled somebody just committed suicide, or
Mhm.
somebody killed themselves. I mean, it's been a roller coaster of things.
Right. And it sounds like you have the words and you just said it. You just have to be honest with people and let them know. It sounds like you're going through a whole lot of emotional turmoil, or you may have a lot of grief issues. It would benefit you to talk to a therapist, or I know of persons who provide therapy. So, you just have to be downright honest with the
Blunt.
person and let them
Hmm.
know, this is what needs to be done, because then you lack boundaries if you continue to allow people to pour into you, and it might affect you. It might trigger you in some way. So you have to protect yourself at all cost, because is this the time where we need to be talking about this? And some people just want to get it off of them, because it's a lot for them to carry, and they've been carrying it around for years, and they may feel comfortable with you, which is a good thing. But definitely, you can empathize and sympathize with them and let them know it sounds like you're going through a lot. I don't know if I'm equipped to handle all of what you're saying. I have some resources for you so that you can, actually be in a safe space, and you will be able to process this information. So you have to be able to set those boundaries to protect yourself, because they don't know your background, they don't know your history, they don't know, what you went through. So you definitely want to protect yourself, but also be mindful that people are people, and
Yeah,
everybody's looking for some type of help. And if you are willing to listen, a lot of people will share.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And these seem like people. They're definitely people who don't talk to people, because
Mhm.
I know these people. They don't. Whew. But I feel privileged, that
Mhm.
they do share these things. But like you said, and I was thinking when I wrote down the question, I was still gonna ask it. If you are bold enough to talk to me and pour out, I should be able to reciprocate that
Mhm.
and say to you, yeah, you need to probably talk to someone
Mhm.
beyond me,
Mhm.
because a lot of things that people, not just those, a lot of
Mhm.
things that they go through, it kind of sends them in a spiral. And
Mhm.
then definitely by the time and just reflecting,
Mhm.
by the time they get to me, they're depressed.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I feel that in them.
Mhm.
And I see, not that they're desperate, but I've heard people say, well, I've had people ask me certain things and they don't know what I'm going through. And I'm like, yeah, but you telling me, and I kind of see that you're on the
Mhm.
edge.
Mhm.
So and going down that road, then is it ways to be able to tell? I know it's a lot of them, but is it a way to be able to tell if somebody is like could be harmful to themselves, or other people,
Mhm.
that so that you could I don't know what you would do, because I've had somebody tell me that they were going to do some things, and I really didn't know what to do other than to call the other people and be like, run, like this
Mhm.
is this don't look good. But
Mhm.
is it ways to tell
Mhm.
that when people are already triggered?
hmm Well, you can actually listen to what a person is saying. They may use key words. They may start giving away things. They may indirectly talk about death or indirectly talk about wanting to harm themselves. So definitely, what they're saying, if they have a plan, have they done this before? What are their thoughts? Basically asking them, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Have you done this before? And then a true person who is actually wanting to hurt themselves, they're not even going to tell you, they're just going to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
these people who are talking about hurting themselves or about how depressed they are, then definitely it's a point where in your gut, this is not right. This is going
Mm-hmm.
down another road. I need to seek some professional help myself or call the non-emergency number to let someone know about what's going on with this person or this situation. So, sometimes it depends on what type of relationship you have with the person,
Mm-hmm.
and are they isolating? What are they actually doing? Did they change their behaviors abruptly? And also noticing the signs of depression. Are they eating too much, sleeping too little, eating too little? Depressed affect, excessive worrying, hypervigilance. So just knowing, those things and any behavior changes, abrupt behavior changes, those are things that you could look for. But again, people cry out for help in various forms. So, it just depends on the person and what's going on with them and what type of relationship you have with them as well. But definitely, if you are, trying to question what's going to happen, ask them directly.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people will tell you and sometimes they will not. But if you know that this does not sit well with you, call the non-emergency number. There's mobile crisis that you could reach out to as well. So then that's in extreme cases. But clearly identifying and letting them know that, they need to seek professional help, that's something that you probably want to continue to encourage. You can't make anybody do anything, but you can talk about your experiences and how it helped you. So, sometimes people trust you to that point. Well, if you did it, then I can do it too.
Mm-hmm. So what is the non-emergency? What, 411, 311?
311.
311. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. And what do you think is a good way, or what is a good way to get it to our community? Because it's not even just a family or a
Mm-hmm.
situational thing, that it's okay to seek therapy when so many people are still in the state of, "Well, man, I don't need to talk to nobody about my personal issues," or they just feel like, well, it'll just work itself out, when clearly, at least for me, when I see people going through stuff and then they separate themselves from society, or separate themselves from a community, and sit in trauma or whatever they're going through, that seems like a bad sign. So what do you think we could do as a community to help spread the word that it's okay to reach out and receive some kind of assistance?
Mm-hmm. We need to continue to talk about it. It shouldn't be taboo. It should not be a stereotypical situation. It's something that we have to normalize. It's something that we have to share with other people, how it's working, what happens in therapy. And therapy is typically something that I believe everybody should enroll in, because I have a therapist. I think every therapist should have a therapist. And I also think that everybody should be able to process. And it doesn't mean that you have trauma that's going on in your life. Sometimes there are transitions that you go through in your life. Sometimes there are, goals that you want to discuss. So it's not always a bad thing that you have to go to therapy and talk about trauma. It is the fact that, there are different stages in your life that you go through that you may need additional support. We can't tell you what to do. We can be through and go through the process with you. So therapy is not for us to tell you what to do and exactly how to do it, because if we're telling you that and it doesn't work, then what happens? So, we're not responsible for that. So then another big thing is to, continue to encourage people to try it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they don't know anything about therapy because they've never been to a therapist. And some therapists, you may have to go to various therapists just to get a good fit. So every therapist is not for everyone. So then definitely have to kind of shop around and identify who might be for you. So that's another thing. A lot of people may have bad experiences the first time they went to therapy, and they are saying, oh, that didn't work for me. So all you need is one person to say that didn't work for me. 5 other people, oh, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to try it because she said. So then, we have to clean it up and make sure that we are putting the information out there that therapy works.
It does. And for anybody that is tuning in, I have seen my number of therapists, and I've walked away from a lot of therapists. And if they don't touch my spirit, I definitely I conclude the conversation and I look for someone else. But I definitely have had great experiences with therapists. I've definitely learned. But I love therapists such as yourself that don't mind telling me about myself. I don't mind them a little. I got thick skin, but I just love transparency and I love honesty. And when I see people trying to not even bait me, but like a psychoanalyze me and don't pay attention to me, but look on the tablet and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, all right, do this. Those kind of therapists, they throw me off because I can see what you're doing. And you know what I'm saying? So when I see those kind of therapists, it's almost like they're not trying to help me. They're just going through their textbook. But therapists such as yourself, I believe that you are definitely gifted, and you can feel people's spirit, and you felt mine, and you can throw stuff back at me, and you're the kind of therapist that I like. So I'm sure that if people feel that it's necessary, well, not even if they feel it's necessary, I just feel like regardless, you should seek a therapist just to see where you are with yourself, just to try to work things out, for anything. I mean, like I said earlier, maybe a second before you got on, we as a community, or just even not even just our community, any community, I think that we grow up with things in our house and it's normalized, so we don't know that it's an issue until we go into the world and see that there might be some dysfunction there. So it's okay to bounce those ideals off on someone who is skilled in the field to help you to navigate those paths. So what's going on, Mr. Swade? I see you tap back in. Everything good? You got anything to add?
Yeah, some discrepancy.
Oh, okay. It seems like it's a little time delay as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
But yeah, but your background looks beautiful. Yeah, it looks very, yeah. Well,
How's everyone?
Miss, yeah, I know. Miss Green, I definitely don't want to hold you. I know that you are very busy, and I want you to be. So if you could you give us any closing statements that you want to make, and like give them your information if they need to reach out to you?
Sure. I really appreciate you inviting me on this forum. I think this is one of the ways that, mental health and normalizing therapy should be done with podcasts, with, different social media platforms. So we need to kind of continue to keep these dialogues going, because I think it's very important. I am located in Suitland, Maryland. You can Google me. My information is, the name of my business is Transformations LLC. And I could be reached at 301-379-0987. So you can call and schedule an appointment, and also we can talk about your next steps into committing to therapy.
Dr. Sothia Green, I appreciate you so much, and I thank you for tuning in with me.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
Peace and blessings to you.
I want to let her know that you can make and register your company with my agency as well, and you can get some clients through my agency with the
Okay.
county. You
Okay.
can call 301-817-1900. You can ask to speak to Dr. Ron Garrett, and probably got a host of clients that could be, you can use your agency as a referral source.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you so much. I
You just
appreciate
tell them that Glenn referred you. Tell them that Glenn referred you, and that you wanted to, just let them know that your agency is able to take, clients with therapy and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much. You guys have a nice night.
And you do the same. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much. I will be checking with you later on.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Mr. Swade. So what's going on, bro?